Third person. Simple basic English. Suspenseful opening. They called it a vote for peace. In a shining hall of glass and crystal, high above the surface of the planet Telenor, the Galactic Council sat in silence. There were no smiles. No warmth. Just cold eyes and silent screens as each delegate voted one by one. The result, 3-1-2. To 1. Earth was exiled. Forever. Earth's ambassador, Michael Rourke, didn't flinch. He stood tall in his black Terran suit, face calm, eyes sharp. A camera drone hovered beside him, recording every second. Behind him, the flag of Earth fluttered quietly, as if it too already knew the outcome. The Speaker of the Council, an insectoid with a gold crown fused to his shell, spoke slowly, trying to sound fair. Humanity has grown unstable, dangerous, too fast, too far. You will now remove yourselves from all council systems, give up all influence, and return to Sol. There will be no appeal. Michael didn't argue. He smiled. It wasn't the smile of a man defeated. It was something else. Something deeper, almost amused. You think we'll beg, he said softly. You think we'll collapse without your systems. But you never understood us. We never needed you. And then he walked out. The doors slammed shut behind him. The exile of Earth had begun. That day was remembered across 100 systems. News screens flashed. Earth exiled. Humanity cast from the stars. Traders stopped deals. Students whispered in shock. Some species cheered. Others grew quiet, because they had seen Earth's power before, and knew this exile might not mean silence. It might mean something worse. Back on Earth, there was no panic, no anger. Only action. Underneath the Arctic ice, deep in the hidden fortress called Erebus Station, General Naomi Kruger watched the live stream. As soon as Rourke walked out, she turned to her team. It's time, she said. All across Earth and the hidden colonies, silent signals lit up. Subspace tunnels opened. Black ships, long kept secret, began to rise from icy oceans, lunar bunkers, and forgotten asteroids. Project Atlas. Protocol Rebirth. Operation Blind Star. Everything was ready. The exile had been expected. 300 years ago, humanity joined the Galactic Council. Back then, Earth was weak, poor, desperate for allies, but humans learned fast. Too fast. In 1 century, Earth became a trade hub, a military power, a cultural giant. Humans brought new ideas, fast machines, and dangerous dreams. Other species feared what they saw. Humanity was too curious, too clever, too independent. So the whispers began. First, quiet bands, then blocked technologies, then secret meetings behind Earth's back, and now, exile. But Earth had been watching the whole time. On the far side of Mars, a massive structure hidden inside a moonbase came to life. Giant engines hummed. Fusion lights snapped on. It wasn't a weapon. It was a gate. A planet-sized gate leading to the uncharted edge of the galaxy. Where no council ships dared to go. Human scientists, soldiers, and explorers had already begun building something new out there, something beyond the council's reach. They called it the Arc Ring. A new future. New order. Far from Sol, a lone alien trader named Vurak heard the news on his ship. He turned pale. He remembered dealing with Earth before. The way they traded, the way they negotiated. They never lost. Even when they smiled, they planned. Even when they bowed, they studied your weakness. Vurak remembered one human diplomat's words. We don't show all our teeth at once. That's not how wolves hunt. And now Earth had been cast out? Vurak didn't feel safe. He felt sorry. For the Council. Back on Earth, Michael Rourke stepped off the Council shuttle and removed his jacket. The sky above him was quiet. Stars blinked, distant and cold. He looked up. "We won them," he said. General Kruger walked up beside him, holding a data slate filled with activation codes. "Are you ready?" she asked. Michael smiled again, colder this time. "Let's begin." Hook, first 5 to 7 minutes. Captain Yellerix of the Council Scout Corps stared at the strange blue sun. His ship had followed a faint distress signal, an automated beacon, buried deep in space where no star maps reached. There shouldn't be a system here. No recorded planets. No colonies. But there it was. A full solar system with 3 planets, one of them glowing green with thick forests, oceans, and clouds. The other had rings orbiting massive orbital structures. He scanned for identification codes. Nothing. And then something flashed. For 1 second, before the signal was buried under a wave of jamming static, a single word came through on a low-band Terran frequency. "Welcome." That was the last thing his ship ever transmitted. Full summary. Years before. Earth's exile. Secret programs had already begun. While the Council watched Earth's official colonies, humanity was building in places no one monitored, through wormholes, past dead systems, behind black holes. They called them the Veiled Colonies. Nova Lycia, a jungle planet wrapped in atmospheric cloaks, home to new AI-grown cities powered by solar webs. Omega 4, a gas giant ringed with stealth shipyards entire. Fleets built in silence, unmapped and untraceable. Arkan Prime, an ocean world guarded by drone sentries, its surface untouched, its seabed crawling with Terran deep tech labs. Each world had a purpose. Each one answered only to Earth, and no one in the Galactic Council had any idea they even existed. Inside the command center of Omega 4, Admiral Kato Tan stood in front of a massive holomap. "Activate Phase 2, he ordered. Instantly, hundreds of stealth vessels began to move. Not to attack, but to watch. They would position themselves around key Council trade lanes, shipyards, and military posts, unseen, undetected, but always ready. The exile wasn't the end of Earth. It was the signal to begin. Back on Earth, Rourke and General Kruger reviewed the incident report. Council scout ship disappeared 4.3 hours after entering System E91. The AI assistant said. "Cause, interdiction field, no survivors." Kruger nodded. "Leave no evidence." Rourke didn't smile this time. "They'll panic soon. 1 ship lost might be an accident. 2 will make them worry. 3, they'll realize Earth is everywhere." Kruger finished. In a dark chamber on the planet Gyron, a secret meeting was underway. The Kreektari, a peaceful race once allied with Earth, had received a strange package. It arrived in a metal pod with no heat trace, no warp signature, just sitting in the center of their high council hall. Inside was a crystal cube. When touched, it displayed a message. Michael Rourke's voice. "If you ever feel the chains tighten, call us. You helped us once. We haven't forgotten." Earth. The Kreektari leader was silent. Then he locked the cube away in the Hall of Ancients. He would not speak of it to the others. Not yet. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council began whispering among themselves. "Earth has gone quiet," said one. "Too quiet," said another. "Do you think they're planning something? They were exiled. What could they possibly do?" But even they didn't believe their own words, because new reports were coming in. Pirates destroyed by strange energy weapons. Ships pulled out of hyperspace by unknown fields. Hidden outposts finding encrypted messages in Terran languages. Earth wasn't fighting. Earth was everywhere. On the far edge of the galaxy. In the Arc Ring, the massive structure being completed in a hidden nebula, thousands of humans worked side by side with AI, machines, and cloned engineers. They weren't building weapons. They were building a civilization. faster-than-light communication. Hubs, interstellar libraries, embassies for future species. They didn't want revenge. They wanted to replace the broken system. One of the technicians looked up at the sky through the transparent dome. "Do you think they know we're doing this?" she asked. Her partner smiled. "They're about to find out." Hook, first 5-7 minutes. On the desert planet of Volan 2, deep inside the Red Canyons, a rebel leader named Siravan opened the strange metal crate delivered to her base overnight. No ship was seen. No sound. No heat trail. Inside the crate was a single cube, pulsing blue. She touched it. It came to life, projecting a calm voice. "We see you. We know you. You are not forgotten." The cube showed old footage images of humans being laughed at in the council, of Earth's ambassador being cast out, of the exile. Then it offered something else. Blueprints, weapons, shields, communication bypass tech. "From Earth," a voice said. "Time to stand." Sira smiled. For the first time in years, she felt hope. That night, 5 council patrol ships above Volan 2 explode, without warning. Full summary. Earth was no longer silent, and the galaxy was starting to feel it. All over council space, signs began to appear. Black box transmissions encoded in human language sent to rebellious factions. Pirate groups attacking council supply lines using strange Terran cloaking tech. Weapons seen firing plasma coils never registered in council arsenals. But every time the council tried to track it, they found nothing. No ship, no heat trail, no proof. Just ashes and wreckage. On the planet Jaxador 3, a librarian found something disturbing. Her records had been altered. 100-year-old human document, once marked restricted by order of the council, was now public. The text: "The doctrine of free will. Why every species must choose its own path. Earth philosophy." Archive it spread like wildfire. Students downloaded it. Workers printed it. Even some council members began reading it. In secret, the message was dangerous. It wasn't a call to fight. It was a call to think. Inside the council security HQ, alarms rang. Who leaked the archives? One officer shouted. Another replied, terrified, "We don't know. It didn't come through our system. It was already inside it." The room went silent. Earth hadn't just returned to the galaxy. Earth was inside the system. On the icy mining colony of Trellin Outpost, miners uncovered a strange object buried deep under a collapsed tunnel. It looked like metal, but no tool could break it. When they touched it, it activated a hologram. A woman's face, human. Trellin was once forgotten, no longer. Reinforcements will arrive in 3 cycles. Until then, hold. 3 days later, a wave of council raiders attacked Trellin, but before they could land, 4 black Terran ships dropped from hyperspace and erased the fleet in seconds. Then they left. No signal. No thanks. Just silence. On a council broadcast channel, rumors began to spread. "Earth is fighting back," someone whispered. "No, they're setting others free. I heard their ships fly without sound. My cousin says they spoke to her in her dream. Earth is building something. No, Earth has already built something." And then the last whisper. They were exiled. But now they decide who stays. On Earth's moon, inside Black Command, General Kruger reviewed the growing list of systems in unrest. Volan 2, uprising active. Trellin, defended successfully. Zorvuk Belt, Council fleet vanished. Creek Tari systems, neutral, but watching. 15 minor rebellions, all with access to new Terran tech. Michael Rourke entered quietly. She looked up. "Too fast?" she asked. Rourke shook his head. "No, we aren't forcing them. We're just offering the door. They're the ones choosing to walk through it," she added. He smiled, and they'll remember who opened it. Meanwhile, in the council chamber, fear had finally taken root. They're breaking our control, hissed a noble. Our fleets are falling apart, said another. Earth must be stopped. Someone yelled, but no one had a solution, because they couldn't find Earth. They had exiled humanity. And now they had no idea where to strike. The galaxy wasn't falling dot, it was shifting dot, and Earth was guiding the shift. The Galactic Council was in session. Dot, it was meant to be a normal emergency meeting. Nothing new. Just more complaints about rebels, missing ships, and quiet protests on member planets. Until the lights dimmed dot without warning. Every screen in the room went black dot, every communication line cut off. Then from the ceiling, one by one, the emergency monitors flickered to life, showing the same image. A human, face dot male, mid-40s, clean-shaven, calm eyes. Michael Rourke, Earth's exiled ambassador. His voice was steady, soft, almost kind. We were silent. We watched. And now we decide. And then the signal cut dot all across the galaxy. Billions had seen it at the same time dot. Full summary. The broadcast reached every planet, every ship, every port, every outpost, even in secure military bases, even inside deep space bunkers. The same message had appeared. This is not a war. This is a choice. You may rule yourselves, or we will help you do it. It wasn't a threat dot, it was a promise dot. In the council chambers, panic exploded. How did they get into our system? One screamed. This was a private channel. Who gave them access? No one answered, because deep down, they all knew. Earth never needed permission. On the trade world of Caloran 5, the people began chanting in the streets. Let Earth speak. Let Earth decide. Some burned council flags. Others wore human symbols, old Earth badges, T-shirts, even music lyrics from Terran bands. It was spreading. Not war, not chaos, but something stronger. Hope. In a hidden observatory on the moon of Halrix, a council scientist stared at a strange graph. It showed energy readings across several sectors, places where nothing should be active, except something was there. Massive energy spikes, moving patterns, gravitational waves shaped like machines. The scientist gulped. It's a fleet, he whispered. Then he corrected himself. No, it's hundreds. Back on Earth, in the Arc Core Command, Rourke stood before a full projection of the galaxy. Dots lit up where Earth's words had reached. Dots glowed green where people had begun to listen. Dots glowed red where council forces had tried to stop them. Kruger stepped in. You ready for the next phase? Rourke looked at the stars. We already began it. All we had to do was speak. On the council world of Caver, a young girl walked through the market, wearing a necklace with an Earth flag. A patrol officer stopped her. Where did you get that? She smiled and held up a tiny glowing cube. He told me it was for free people. She said. The cube projected a message. Every voice matters. From Earth, with respect. The officer stared in silence. He didn't stop her. He let her pass. Even inside council fleets, doubt grew. Some officers secretly watched Earth's message again and again. They didn't see threats. They saw truth. A truth the council had buried. For years, that Earth had never wanted power. They only wanted freedom. Now they were giving it. To everyone. One council admiral, alone in his command ship, stared at the old message log. Years ago, he had voted to exile Earth. He remembered Rourke's smile that day. And now he finally understood. You never needed the council, he whispered. From the shadows of exile, Earth had risen. They had not returned with weapons first. They had returned with words. Words strong enough to break empires. In the skies above. Gamma 6 20 royal warships circled a quiet Terran colony. It wasn't large. No shields, no known weapons. Just simple domes, farming towers, and a landing bay. The Zarn Dominion, an ancient council-aligned empire, wanted to make an example. Admiral Threx of the Zarn gave the order. Earn the colony. Make Earth fear us. Again. But just as the first plasma torpedoes locked onto the colony, a ripple passed through the stars. A single dot appeared on long range. Radar dot, then another dot, then dozens. Terran dreadnoughts, silent, fast, pitch black. One voice came through, flat and direct. This is Earth. You are surrounded. You are in violation of Article 0. Stand down. The Admiral laughed. Then the Terran ships opened fire. In 8 seconds. 60 ships were gone. Gamma -6 was untouched. Full summary. The galaxy had long believed. Earth was a memory, a fallen world. But the Star Kings, the ruling houses of old council empires, still held their crowns high. Until Earth's Black Fleet started knocking them down, one by one. On the mining moon Yolvex, the royal fleet of the Torvan dynasty tried to crush a rebellion armed with Terran weapons. They expected farmers. Instead, they faced human-trained guerrillas with cloaked drone support, EMP nets, and plasma traps. The entire Torvan army surrendered in 48 hours. On Drelo Station, the Zarith overlords hosted a celebration, mocking Earth's failed return. As they toasted their power, a Terran stealth satellite crashed through the ceiling, projecting live video of their secret slave camps, broadcasted across 17 systems. Within hours, the overlords were overthrown by their own people. One by one, the Star Kings, who had once ruled by fear, found their palaces empty, their fleets gone, their people rising, not because Earth had ordered it, but because Earth had empowered them. In the command room of Dreadnought Horizon, Admiral Cato watched dozens of fleet markers fall off the map. He turned to his crew. Status? Zarn Dominion fleet destroyed. Torvan surrender confirmed. Zarnith regime collapse underway. Next targets? Only those who still enslave, exploit, or silence. He nodded. No empire left untouched. Back in council space, the speaker was desperate. Earth is attacking us. But a message came in from the Terran Arc Council. We do not attack, we respond. And only where voices were crushed, you exiled us. Now you answer to the free galaxy. In the capital of Corzon Prime, a massive statue of the first Council Emperor stood tall for 3,000 years. It fell in one night, brought down not by Earth, but by thousands of alien citizens waving banners. We are not property. Earth showed us the stars again. Freedom is not treason. Earth never raised its flag on any conquered world. They didn't stay. They didn't claim. They just removed the tyrants, left technology to rebuild, and disappeared again. But every system left behind now echoed one silent truth. Earth had returned, not to rule, but to end rulers. On Gamma 6, a child watched the Terran dreadnoughts vanish into the clouds after saving their colony. She turned to her mother. Who were they? The mother smiled, tears in her eyes. Those were the ones we cast out long ago, and they came back not to punish us, but to make sure it never happens again. They were taken without sound. In the middle of the night, on 7 different planets. The top leaders of the Galactic Council were pulled from their palaces. Their guards never saw the attackers. No alarms were triggered. Security footage went black for 11 seconds. When the lights came back on, the chairs were empty. The next morning, across the galaxy, the council leaders appeared, not dead, not tortured, but seated quietly in a white circular chamber. On Earth's moon, the chamber floated above a calm crater. It was transparent on all sides, open to the stars. They were surrounded by silence. A smooth voice echoed from above. You are not prisoners. You are witnesses. And now you will hear the galaxy speak. The trial had begun. Full summary. 4. 3,000 years, the Galactic Council ruled without question. They passed laws for others, took what they wanted, and silenced voices they called too loud. Now they sat powerless, watched by billions across hundreds of systems through a live galaxy-wide broadcast. Each council member was given a chair. Each was surrounded by projections, images, voices, evidence. Not from Earth, not from the species they had ruled over. First came the Valari, who had begged for help during a planetary collapse. The council sent no aid. Earth had responded with drones and rebuilt their cities. Then the Mokhtari, whose children were taken for genetic research. Earth found the files. Earth returned the children. Next, the Ilkenri, once banned from learning technology. Earth sent them starship blueprints and trained their first engineers. Each species stood and spoke. Council couldn't look them in the eye. General Kruger stood behind a transparent wall, watching quietly with Rourke beside her. She whispered, "They called us reckless, unworthy." Rourke replied, "We just remembered what they forgot." "What's that?" "That power is borrowed, and truth always returns." The final speaker was a girl from the planet Ravos, barely 12 years old. She wore old clothes and held a broken datapad. Her voice shook as she spoke. "My village called the council for years. No one came. Then a ship came from Earth. A human gave me this." She lifted the pad. It showed a single message. "You matter. We see you." The chamber went completely silent. Even the stars seemed to pause. Then the AI moderator spoke once more. "This is not revenge. This is remembrance. You exiled Earth. Now the galaxy chooses, do we follow your silence or Earth's voice?" Each council member was allowed to speak. Some wept. Some stayed quiet. One tried to lie. But the AI immediately projected truth logs, exposing years of hidden deals and secret corruption. None of them denied what they had done. The verdict came. Not from Earth, but from the people of the galaxy. They voted. 94% chose to dissolve the council permanently. 87% wanted a new system led by free worlds, not empires. 92% voted to recognize Earth as the founding member of the new order. No war. No blood. Just truth. And the end of an age? The chamber dimmed. The ex-council leaders were quietly escorted away. Not imprisoned, but stripped of power. They would live among the people they once ruled. For the first time in their lives, they would answer to others. Across the stars, fireworks lit the skies of 1,000 planets. Music played. Flags waved. Not Terran flags. Flags of new governments. New alliances. Earth didn't want thrones. They had already chosen something. Higher. Guardianship. As the celebration grew, a message appeared in every language, on every screen, in every voice. Power belongs to those who protect the weak, and freedom belongs to all. Earth. A child on the distant planet Elura sat under the stars with her father. She pointed at the sky. "Who protects us now, Papa? The council is gone." The father looked up, his eyes reflecting the soft glow of the moons. "You see that little blinking light?" She nodded. "That's a Terran watch station. They're not here to rule us. They're here to make sure no one ever tries to again." The girl stared into the sky with quiet wonder. Above her world, a hidden human ship sat in orbit, silent, unmoving, but watching. Full summary. Earth never claimed territory. They never replaced the council with another throne. Instead, they built the net of stars, a network of defense stations, emergency supply outposts, education satellites, and peacekeeping fleets placed across the galaxy. They called it the Watch. Any species could call on it. Any planet could join it. There was only one rule. Freedom is not optional. On the Terran flagship Defender's Grace, Michael Rourke stood with General Kruger and Admiral Kaito as they watched final construction finish on Watchpoint Prime, the center of Earth's galactic network. "This isn't an empire," Kaito said. "No," Rourke replied. "It's something harder." "What's that?" "A promise. One we intend to keep." All over the galaxy, change had begun. On Velora Prime, former slaves now ran their own markets and schools, with Terran teachers guiding from the background. On Karasa, a war-torn world, Terran engineers helped rebuild cities brick by brick before quietly leaving without asking for thanks. On the dead moon of Seraph 9, where a whole species once vanished under council rule, Earth built a memorial. It read only, "We remember you, and we make this vow never again." Even the former council leaders now lived among the people. Some tried to hide. Some tried to make amends. Others simply learned what it meant to be equal. They were no longer feared. They were finally understood. In a broadcast seen by trillions, Earth officially declined the offer to lead the new united coalition of free worlds. Rourke's voice was simple and clear. "We are not your rulers. We are your shield. We will walk beside you, not above you." The galaxy cheered. And in the silent shadows of space, Earth's ghost fleet continued to patrol, ready to vanish again if peace held, but ready to strike if anyone ever threatened it. 1 year later, in a school on a small farming world, a teacher asked her class, "Who saved the galaxy?" A dozen voices shouted, "Earth." She smiled. "Do you know why they did it?" The room went quiet. And a young boy said softly, "Because we forgot each other, and Earth didn't." Back in the Arc Ring, hidden in the nebula, a new chamber opened. It wasn't a war room. It was a library. Inside it, stories were written not by humans, but by the species they had helped. Stories of freedom, of loss, of healing. Earth wasn't collecting power. They were collecting truth. In orbit over a blue-green world, a final message blinked quietly on a satellite beacon, broadcast across the stars. "To those who were silenced, you are heard. To those who were broken, you are whole. To those who fear, you are not alone. Earth remembers. Earth watches. Earth stands." The end.